You hopeful that Spurs can get a result this weekend?
I think I'm hopeful we can get a point. I'm not really sitting here saying I think we're going to win, but I think in terms of going to Fulham and taking a point, I don't think that's an impossible task. But yeah, I mean, it's still going to be very difficult.
So score prediction?
1-1.
1-1.
1-1. I think we're going to see a bit of a difference from Arsenal, but Fulham more settled at the moment. Also a bit confident, just beating Sunderland. I think they're going to take the game to us. It'll be a bit of a struggle at times, but I think there'll be enough just to get a point.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I mean, we can get a point if we play well and things start to click, but I just can't see it. You know, on the back of that Arsenal game, how terrible we were, how terrible we've been all season. Our record at Fulham as well, how they usually have beaten us over the last couple of years and quite convincingly at that as well. I think the last two times we've been to Fulham, we've conceded 5 goals and scored none. Is that right? We lost 2-0 there last year and 3-0 there the year before. I remember that. Was that 3-0 that we played, or was it the 2-0 where Radu was just absolutely horrific?
3-0 was his debut.
Yeah, well, that was it was just horrific that day. Oh my God.
It was so bad.
But yeah, I mean, I can't really see us winning. I really can't. I can't even see. I think we're going to lose this game, to be honest. I really do. I think Fulham are going to be chomping at the bit to play us this weekend. They're going to sense and smell the blood. So unfortunately, I'm going to go for 2-1 to Fulham. But if we do get a point, I actually think it's a very good point, because you look at, if Spurs get a point, looking at Crystal Palace midweek, where that's a real game where you can get 3 points in, and all of a sudden, if you get 4 points in the next 2 games, then that's looking decent.
Yeah, if we can get 4 points, I think, especially with West Ham, got Liverpool. I can't remember if they got midweek, but they got Liverpool this weekend at Anfield. So you got to hope they don't win that game. So all of a sudden, if we get 4 points, we could be pulling ourselves away from that relegation conversation in the medium term, short term. So I think we're going to learn a lot about this team under Tudor as well this weekend in terms of, I think against Arsenal was always a chance, whatever team we put out or anything or however we played, that we were just going to get battered and we were going to lose quite badly. Obviously we were hoping, grit, determination, passion out be enough to be a bit of a leveller. And it was for a time until it wasn't, and they took the game away from us. And that obviously we ended up losing quite convincingly. But in these kind of games, and obviously the quality should be a bit more even, tactics come a bit more into play when it comes to the separation. And hopefully Tudor having us a bit more on the front foot, we'll see how that affects the team and how much more confidence it gives them, I think, on Sunday.
I think we need to have a really good start just to instill a bit of confidence into the team. And if we can, go ahead a bit early, get an early goal, put them under a bit of pressure, then that gives us a good platform to build off, doesn't it? And, Tudor's spoken about the bad habits. He's spoken about the lacking of confidence. If we can just go ahead early, instill a bit of confidence, then, you never know. We can even take away a win.
100%. Look, it's not impossible to win this game. Fulham aren't some unbeatable force. Like, they are beatable. You get an early goal, all of a sudden you gain the confidence. Look, I still think we got better players. With the players we've got available now, with a few coming back, I think we got definitely a team that should go toe to toe with them at the very least. There are definitely some things about Fulham that do worry me, and that's first of all is their wingers, the fast wingers, Kevin or COYS. I think in these games, especially with us playing a back three, I am worried about those players. They are they're very pacey. If we're pressing up like we did against Arsenal, leaving all that space, it's primed for people like Kevin and COYS to kind of really exploit that. Obviously, Harry Wilson, he's been in great form all season, and he's one of those, if we don't get at him and make sure he's got no space, if you don't deny him space, he can show in this season he can hurt you. And
we've been playing like Wilson on the wing. Obviously, he scored against us at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with that horrible mistake from Vicario. You're going to have Smith Rowe there in the 10, he'll want to, dampen our hopes of survival. Raul Jimenez scoring 2 goals in the last game. He's been pretty good this season. The player that impressed me the most, actually, on the weekend for Fulham was Iwobi. Iwobi, if he gets in the groove, he's such a hard player to deal with.
Yeah, he's one of these players where he's good at everything. He's a good dribbler. He's strong. He's half decent passing. he's not really the best shot, but he's like okay at shooting. I think it was Lampard who first put him in midfield for Everton, that found that position for him, and ever since then he's like been quite a good player there in central midfield because he can tackle, he gets stuck in if you can get his positioning right. He's just like kind of like a jack of all trades, and I think Marco Silva's also been playing him there, realised that. But he's also very versatile. You play him on the wing, you play him centre mid, in the 10, can play any of those positions, and he's can do a decent job. I wouldn't say he's like incredible, but he's like pretty good everywhere.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. And you're looking at Fulham's home form. Obviously, they're on a good run there. Did lose their last game there to Everton, but before that, they had won 4 out of their last 5. But before that, they lost to Crystal Palace at home, and Crystal Palace have been pretty awful for a long time. And if Crystal Palace can go there and win, surely we can go there and win. Come on.
Palace beat Fulham.
Yeah.
Well,
it was quite a while ago, but they still beat them.
How long ago was that?
It was back in December.
Well, Palace weren't as bad as they are now back then, weren't they? But yeah, look, we can win. We absolutely can win this game. As I said, Fulham are not like some incredible team. They're a decent mid-table team where they always make it difficult for you, and they quite like consistently find ways to make it hard for you. Very rarely just like get absolutely battered. But it's one of those where Fulham's just one of those teams where you kind of have to be at your best or near your best to win, because they always make it difficult. But also, they're also like not some unbeatable team. Like, it's not like if you're at your best, you usually win that game. That's the kind of thing with Fulham. So it's whether we're going to be at our best or not.
It's always underwhelming going there. We're never at, but we always seem to just, in the last 2 years, the performances that we've had at Fulham have just been absolutely atrocious.
Well, I think last year was before or just after a Europa League game, and so we were like resting a lot of players. I remember Maddison got rested. If I remember rightly, I think one half Romero played and one half Van de Ven played. We were still managing those players as well. So it was kind of just one of those where...
So Van de Ven didn't play at all. Romero went off with like 20 minutes to go for Maddison.
So we're still managing the centre-backs.
We played the back two was Romero and Davis with a Doggy and Spence at fullback. And Romero got taken off with 20 minutes to go.
But Van de Ven, that was it. Van de Ven was on the bench and he didn't come on. Which was, I remember, quite curious. I remember it was one of those, it was like a very close game up until like 10 minutes to go or 20 minutes to go, where they just scored 2 late goals and ended up winning.
Yeah, Ryan Sessegnon.
Yeah, Sessegnon came on and scored. So that was obviously it. But the one before that, I remember we had just beaten, I think, Villa 4-0 at Villa Park. And we were like, okay, we're going to get top 4. Everyone was like buzzing. And then that was like a bit of a reality check, that game. Like it was a weird game though. Like we got battered 3-0, but we had so many chances. Like I remember Johnson and Werner both missing absolute sitters in that game. And it was a weird one. Like we had lots of chances, but we ended up just getting battered in the end. And I remember João Palhinha was phenomenal that game. So I think Fulham's always a tough place to go. Craven Cottage is always a difficult place to go. Even saw, this season when Man City were 5-1 up and they ended up nearly clawing it back and making it 5-4. So they're always a difficult team to play against. But if you're at your best and you play to your potential, we have the players to win the game for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And he was talking in the press conference, wasn't he? He was asked, what's the possibility of you going to a back 4 as opposed to a back 3, and he said all options are open, right? I mean, we've seen managers say this in the past and it just hasn't made any difference. But with the players that we have available, should a back 4 not be what we do go for?
Probably. I mean, well, to be fair, with Porro now back, I prefer Spence at left back rather than left wing back, if I'm being honest. I think Porro obviously can play wing back. Yeah, and to be honest, you'd rather, in terms of the centre-backs, just have Danso and Van de Ven.
That's what I'm saying. So you go back 2 of Van de Ven and Danso, the full-backs like you mentioned, then you have 3 in midfield, and I guess you can put Tell on the wing or something like that.
Yeah, you're probably right. I probably would go forward at the back. I think it is more suited to the players we have available until Romero comes back, especially in a doggy. And then all of a sudden you say back three, you can do it.
Because if you go for a back three with Romero, Danso and Van de Ven, like that's a back three we're comfortable with.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's a good back three.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's did us well when we were playing a back three, ish.
In certain games.
Frank, yeah.
In certain games. So, yeah, maybe that is the way to go. Because as much as I was saying before, you know, Radu's not as bad as people say. That doesn't mean I think he's good. I just don't think he's bad as what people suggest.
He's awful on the ball. He's just so bad.
Yeah.
I know against Arsenal there was a point where he was dominating Gyökeres, but as soon as Gyökeres got any sort of separation from him, he couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And on the ball, he's just terrible.
The reality is none of our players could do anything. It wasn't just him, but he was detrimental to some of the goals that we were conceding for sure. And he had an awful game. But for me, the reason that Dragushin shouldn't be playing right now isn't because of the quality of player. It's because that he's coming back from an ACL, and I just don't think he's fit enough to play games right now and lasting as long as he can. Because I thought he did very well in the first half, and he had a major drop off in the second half.
I think it's both, to be honest. I think he's not good enough for Tottenham, to be honest. Like, I don't know if he's good enough for a top half Premier League team. I really don't. I really got serious question marks about him.
His agent seems to think he's on his way to Real Madrid.
I think this has been a bit of a scouting screw up, signing Dragushin. To be honest, I think we've got that one completely wrong.
The thing is, we just haven't seen him that much, though. That's the thing. Like, can we really judge him without seeing him as much?
We saw him before. He was there for a year before.
Yeah, but we've seen him in a completely wrong system for us.
For us or for him?
For him.
So it's wrong because he's bad on the ball.
It's not just that he's bad on the ball. He's just not suited to play in a high line.
Right, and do you not think that's because he's not good enough?
I don't know. I think, you know, different players are suited to different styles of football, right?
We don't want to be playing a style of football that suits Raul Dragushin.
Yeah, that's fine, but I think we were this season playing a system that was suiting to Raul Dragushin. He just wasn't playing for the majority of the time. Frank was because of his ACL. Like, I'm not saying that we should accommodate the system for Raul Dragushin, and I want to see the football that Raul Dragushin plays and where he's suited for. But all I'm saying is that the way we were playing last year highlighted his flaws a lot more, and if we played a different way, he would look a lot better, which means he's not actually a bad player. He's just a bad player for the way we want to play.
I think it's because he's a bad player. That's why he can't fit into the way we want to play.
I'm not so sure about that.
Like, there are the qualities he has. There are defenders right now in the lower parts of the league who have those same qualities.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they're great. That doesn't mean they're just good players for those systems. It's just that level of player.
Yeah.
He is a lower table player. He's not great. He's really not good on the ball. And I think defensively, I don't think he's perfect either, but I think he's decent a box defender. He's good at clearing the ball. He's good at heading. But when it comes to tracking his man, positioning, when it comes to his confidence on the ball, it's not good. And I think it's just been a terrible mistake signing him, to be honest. I think right now, obviously, he's recovered from the ACL, so it's harsh to really be overly critical on performances currently. But I think overall, what we've seen from him, I think we've spent 30 million on him, and I don't know why we did that. Yeah, look,
I do agree it was a mistake signing him, just because I think stylistically he just doesn't fit, and definitely didn't fit. He was misprofiled completely when we signed him.
But you keep saying stylistically, he's not good enough to be a top 6 defender.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do agree with that, but we're not a top 6 team.
Okay, but that's when we signed him. That's what we wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. And in certain games, you know, that 4-0 against Man City, I thought he was incredible that day.
Yeah,
and he has had good performances for us as well, even in a system that doesn't suit him. And actually, when we defended a bit deeper under Ange, when he did play, I thought he was okay. You know, there were games which was horrific. He gets sent off in the first 4 minutes as well in the Europa League game. Like, he's had some terrible games for Tottenham. Don't get me wrong.
But look, I would sell him in the summer.
Yeah, and so would I. I'm not sitting here saying he's unbelievable. I think we should keep him. I just feel like the criticism of him is just a bit over the top.
He shouldn't be playing. I would rather Paulinho at centre back than him.
And that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I probably would prefer Paulinho in centre back over him as well. Like, I just think, in recent times, or maybe at times, he gets used as a bit of a scapegoat, and I don't think he's a top defender, and I agree we should sell him, but he's not as bad as people say. That's all I'm saying. But
well, how bad is he?
How bad is he? I think he's like a mid-table defender. Probably to the level that we're at right now. Well, we're not even mid-table. We're fighting relegation, and that's probably his level, around about where we are right now.
I don't think any Premier League clubs come in for him if we sell him.
I think you'd be surprised. I think some Premier League clubs would pick him up.
I think he goes back to Serie A.
Yeah, and he'll do very well there. Like he
right
did when he came to us. He was a very good defender in Serie A.
He was all right.
He was good.
Was
and that's why we signed him. Because he played well in Serie A.
We thought we were finding some gem. He wasn't. We were wrong.
Well, we signed him off the back of good performances in Serie A. That's why we signed him.
He was playing for a team who were like lower mid-table, weren't they, Genoa?
Yeah, and now he's at a team that are lower than lower mid-table.
There you go.
So look, very, very difficult game this weekend. We just need to try and just get this negativity out of our play, get some confidence back, get these stupid moments out of our game, and it'll give us half a chance to win the game or even draw the game. Are you taking a point if I offered you right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just because it stops the rot with 3 defeats in a row. Just get that point on the board. It keeps us, that potentially goes to 5 points if our West Ham lose to Liverpool as well. And I think just, especially if we play well, unlucky not to win also, if we just take a point, you get a bit of confidence out of that, and all of a sudden you start to believe that we're not going to be pulled in. We are into this relegation fight, but I think you start to believe you can pull away from it very quickly all of a sudden, especially with the fixtures we got. Like, we do have fixtures.
Yeah, we've got Liverpool away coming up.
Okay, but I'm saying from now to the end of the season, we have the better fixtures when it comes to the race for the relegation.
Yeah, by some way.
So the fixtures are there. It's all about taking advantage of that. Right now, it's hard to envisage us doing that. But if we can start getting confidence, all of a sudden, the fixtures are there for us to take advantage to pull away.
The 2 most important games that we have coming up in the next month are Palace at home and Forest at home. If we could get 6 points out of those 2 games, then I think that will start to ease a lot of people's nerves.
I think we'll be fine if we get 6 points out of those. I don't see us going down if we get 6 points in those games. Yeah.
The Forest game is obviously very difficult, but Palace next week, no questions asked, no excuses. We have to win. We have to win. If we don't win against Palace next week, then we are in deep shit.
Yeah.
We are seriously in deep shit.
If we don't win either of those games, then all of a sudden you're like, we really are favourites to go down at that point.
Exactly. So
saying Brennan is so typical. He hasn't
he got an
assist
assist last night. First goal contribution for Palace.
If he hasn't scored, just wait till he gets into that Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You wait. Just you wait.
You can just imagine now the Spurs fans singing, Johnson again, ole ole, and he just dunks on us. He can't even get in the Palace team, though. That's the thing. Like, Palace are in the state that they're in, and he can't even get a start for them. And then we're sitting here struggling and scrambling around for... Like, he would get in our team right now, and he can't even get into the Palace team. That's mad, isn't it?
They think he's awful.
I know.
They said.
Half the Spurs fans
spent 35 million on him.
Half the Spurs fan base think he's awful, but what he does do is, arrive in good situations and put the ball in the back of the net.
I think he's one of those players who you need. He needs to be in a functioning team. He's like the cherry on top of a functioning team. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're expecting him to provide for you special moments, then he's not really going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think probably in his career he ever has a better season than he had last season. Ange knew how to play him to a T. Probably Johnson was the biggest beneficiary of Ange's tactics in our squad.
100%. I think it made up for his flaws a lot, the system that we played.
Because he got making the right runs. He was so good at timing his runs in the box. And we just never, under Frank, he was just used to be like a winger that spams crosses in the box. That's never going to work with Brennan. You need to get him in the box.
He was playing on the left. You just didn't know how to use him.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is weird because he wanted him at Brentford, so you assume he had a plan for him.
He wanted him at Brentford, and then he was the first player that he sold at Spurs. Make it make sense, man.
I'm looking at Fulham's team. What are we like targeting as we think is maybe one of their weaknesses? Is it Sessegnon on that side? I mean, he's been quite good for them, but is he something you look at Sessegnon on that left back thinking we can get down that side? I think
we can get down both sides. Tete is obviously a very good defender, but with Tete, you can buy a lot of fouls off him. So hopefully you can get like a few free kicks in and around the box. Like Tete, he's a very strong tackler and he gives away a lot of fouls. So I think if you ask both those defenders questions, then you can, probably buy a few free kicks on Tete's side, but actually get in behind Ryan Sessegnon as well. I think definitely the fullbacks are probably the two spots where I say, that's where we can get at them.
I think it'll be very important for our centre forwards to really pin themselves onto the centre backs and back into them, create that space for Xavi just to wander into. Because if you got Xavi kind of floating, because if they're playing Iwobi and Sander Berge, similar team to they played against City a couple of weeks ago, you got Iwobi and Sander Berge in the middle. If we've got Connor and Paulinho there in the centre, you've got Xavi floating, and then you've got the two centre forwards pinning their centre backs. There should be some space there, and then you've got Porro and Spence really spreading the game out wide, so keeping the fullbacks kind of stretching the pitch a lot. I think the gap should open. I think at a back three against this team, especially as Iwobi isn't the most defensively minded central midfielder, Xavi could be able to find pockets of space there, I think.
I think Sander Berge will be that one that's kind of trying to track his run. Sander Berge is a very good player. Very good player. You got to have Paulinho just like ruling the roost in the middle of the park there. I think it's important to have a João Paulinho in the middle of the park of this game. He knows that pitch really well, and he knows that team very well as well. He'll know the runs and he'll know the way Marco Silva likes to play. I think João Paulinho could be a very important part of the team this weekend.
Yeah, he just needs to be able to pass forward.
Yeah. Or he can just score an overhead kick in the box, one of the two. Just put the ball in the back of the net, like he says, like tactics. I don't care stylistically how we play. Like it really doesn't matter. We just need to get the result.
And Raul Jimenez got a brace last game.
Yeah, he's a good player, Raul Jimenez. He's scored 8 goals this season, 3 assists in 26 games, 12 last season. So, I mean...
It's really come back for him.
Yeah, exactly. So, in that 1920 season for Wolves, he scored like 17 or something in the season.
He was so good. I mean, I know he's recovered, but before that head injury, he was literally one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
Everyone wanted him.
Yeah,
Everyone wanted him.
Such a shame. I mean, I'm so happy for him that he's got back to like a certain level, and he's... he is a good striker again, which I'm delighted for him for, because we've seen other players like Mason had to retire because of similar head injuries. So no guarantees that he even had a career. So the fact he's back scoring goals again is great. But before that injury, he really was so unbelievable. He was so great to watch as well. He scored some brilliant goals, and he was such an exciting, fun player. So it's such a shame I don't really see as much as that anymore. But he still scores, which is great for him.
He scores, but he's always a threat. And he always imposes his physical dominance. Raul Jimenez, he's a very physical number 9, and it's something that we need to watch out for because he's always a threat. No matter what you say, like he always has a chance or two in a game, even if he doesn't put it in the back of the net. He's always there. His positional sense is very good as well. So he's definitely someone that we need to be wary of, 100%.
Well, we've got 3 centre backs to do it, so
yeah. The thing is, with those centre-backs in Bassi and Joachim Andersen, like you mentioned, if we can get 2 up front and match them and press them man for man, they're good players and they're both kind of decent on the ball and they're both physical, but they are players that you can get at as well. Yeah,
I would say definitely Andersen, I think, is a player you can probably bully a bit more than Bassi. Bassi's extremely good physically, but he's not so good on the ball. Whereas it's the opposite with Andersen. He's like, physically, I'm not saying he's weak, but... Solanke would fancy his chances up against him. But on the ball, you got to watch those switches of play. That's obviously something that he's extremely good at. He's very good with his long passing range, Joachim Andersen. So I think whoever's on that side, whether it be Mawani, Solanke, just close him down. Make sure those long passes aren't being made available because he'll pull them off. Andersen, he's very good at that.
Yeah. We just got to watch ourselves. Like, just tricky. They're such a tricky team to play against Fulham, and Marco Silva comes up with all these kind of tactical things to combat each and every team in each and every game, and they seem to find some sort of tactical edge in most games, even if they don't win. You know, they're a threat. So you even look at that Man City game all those months ago when they lost 5-4. Like, they were well in that game, weren't they, right till the end, causing Man City hell of a lot of problems. I think the thing that we have potentially going for us in this game is that maybe we could catch Marco Silva off guard here a little bit, because he'll see the way we set up and played against Arsenal, but we might look to set up a bit differently and play a bit differently in this game. So he won't know the way Spurs are going to actually play this game.
Yeah, I mean, judging by what we did against Arsenal, he'll make plans for that. But as Equal said, everything's open. And I take his word for that. I think maybe he will change it. Maybe he'll look at the formation. It's not like he hasn't played a back four before in his career.
It's been a long time.
It has been a while, but he has done it. So I think needs must in most situations. But look, I presume he'll play a back three. But how he'll play the back three, we don't know. Would it be maybe he'll be put Tel up front with Solanke, or maybe he'll go in a different way. You know, you don't know for sure.
I would like to see him go for a back four, not because I do think it fits us a bit better with the players we have available, but also just to spring that element of surprise on Marco Silva, because he'll be probably planning for that back three all week in training. So if we do that back four, it will bring that element of surprise, won't it?
And I think it makes us more of a threat going forward, because I think we're not the problem I have with this team that I'm looking at, this particular lineup, is down the left. I don't see us having much. Like Spence is going to be in charge of that left-hand side, and he doesn't get forward that well when he's on that side. So all of a sudden, everything's going to be focused down the right, and I can see Fulham getting some joy down the other side, and I'm kind of worried about that situation. Whereas if we play a back four, you have Van der Ven, Danso, Porro right back, Spence left back, and then you've got Tel ahead of him. Then you've got Tel, you've got Javi in the 10, you've got Solanke or Mawani, maybe Mawani on the right. So you've got options there, and all of a sudden you're more of a threat, I think, going forward.
When Romero comes back, which will be for the Liverpool game, would you toy with the idea, if Udogi's not back, going for Van der Ven left back and Danso and Romero in a back two? I think that's the best way to go. I really do. Like, Van der Ven plays there for his national team. We've seen him, how good he can be at left back. Such speed. Yeah,
I would have him basically being a left back, but just like hanging back a bit, not like marauding, but like give an opportunity, you go forward, but just give Porro that license to bomb on and get forward and be in the final third. Whereas he just
he still makes that kind of back three,
off the ball back three, and off the ball, but on the ball, like he goes out to the left and just. You know, because I actually think his box defending is probably not as good as Romero and Danso, to be honest. That's probably one of his weaker points when crosses come in.
Albeit he has got better at it this season.
He has, but I think Danso and Romero, I think, are a bit better than him.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think him on the... maybe that's why the Dutch national team never play him there. So I think I would definitely consider it. Yeah. That's probably our best back four at the moment.
Look, interesting games. Obviously, you're going to be here on the watch along with Super Sai. I'll be at Craven Cottage. It's going to be...
Getting the boat there?
No, I'm not getting the boat.
Getting the boat.
I'm just getting straight in and straight out. Let's hope they can spring a surprise Tottenham this weekend. Big game. Big game. So come and join the watch along, people. I'll be bringing you content from inside the ground.